world that never stops moving, where our phones buzz every few seconds, and the noise of life drowns out our own thoughts, there is a rare and powerful practice that can transform everything. Stillness. Imagine being able to silence the chaos inside your head, to find clarity in the middle of storms, and to live with calm strength no matter what life throws at you. This is not a modern invention. This is an ancient secret of the Stoics, philosophers who lived centuries ago, yet whose wisdom speaks louder today than ever before. Welcome to this journey into Stoicism, where today we'll uncover the importance of embracing stillness, guided by the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and other ancient philosophers. If you're someone who feels overwhelmed by noise, stress, or constant distractions, this message is for you. Stillness is not just sitting in silence. It is strength. It is clarity. It is mastery of the mind. Before we dive in, take a moment. If you find value in philosophy that sharpens your thinking, strengthens your character, and gives you peace of mind, subscribe to this channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. What does stillness mean to you? I'd love to hear your reflections, because together we are building not just an audience, but a community of seekers striving for wisdom. The nature of stillness. To the Stoics, stillness was not about doing nothing, but about returning to what is essential. It is the pause that allows us to act with wisdom rather than impulse. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." Think about that. We often believe we must escape somewhere. Maybe a quiet vacation, maybe the mountains, maybe a retreat. But Marcus reminds us, peace is within. Stillness is a decision, not a destination. It is the discipline of calming the mind even in the middle of battle, chaos, or work. And for the Stoics, this was essential, because they knew life was full of hardship. Without stillness, we become slaves to every noise, every temptation, every anger. With stillness, we become free. Why we resist stillness? But let's be honest. Why do so many of us resist stillness? Because it feels uncomfortable. Sitting quietly with ourselves often exposes truths we don't want to face. Our regrets, our fears, our unfulfilled desires. That's why we scroll endlessly, chase distractions, and avoid silence. Seneca, in one of his letters, warned about this constant busyness. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. In other words, when our attention is scattered in 1,000 directions, we fail to live deeply anywhere. Stillness, therefore, is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the only way to live with depth. The Stoic view of inner calm. Epictetus taught his students that external events are beyond our control, but the state of our mind is always ours to command. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Stillness is the very practice of becoming master of ourselves. Think about how powerful this is. Most people are thrown around like leaves in the wind, reacting to every email, every insult, every rumor, every fear. But the Stoic is rooted. The Stoic practices stillness, and so when the storm comes, he remains unmoved. Why stillness matters. Picture yourself as a lake. When the surface is disturbed by wind, the water is cloudy. You cannot see the bottom. But when the wind settles, the water becomes clear, and the truth beneath is revealed. That is stillness. Without it, your mind is cloudy, decisions are hasty, and emotions control you. With it, you see clearly. You act with purpose. This is why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Men seek retreats for themselves, in the country, by the sea, in the hills. But it is in your power whenever you choose to retreat into yourself." Now compare this with the modern world. Notifications, headlines, endless comparisons on social media. People live in a constant storm of noise. No wonder anxiety, depression, and stress are rising. We have lost the art of stillness. And yet, the Stoics left us a guidebook. Let me ask you, when was the last time you sat alone in silence, without your phone, without music, without anything? Just breathing, just being present? For most, the answer is either never or not in years. But here's the challenge. The very moments you resist stillness are the moments you need it the most. Stillness is where the mind heals. Stillness is where wisdom whispers. Stillness is where we realize what truly matters. So in this first part, we've explored what stillness means in Stoic philosophy. Not an escape, but a return. Not emptiness, but fullness. In part 2, we will go deeper into how to practice stillness daily, how Stoic philosophers train their minds to remain calm even under fire, and how you too can embrace this ancient discipline to live with strength, peace, and clarity. Don't miss part 2, because that is where stillness becomes not just an idea but a way of life. In part 1, we uncovered the Stoic understanding of stillness, how it is not a passive act, but the ultimate strength of mind. We saw how Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus believed that the ability to retreat inward, calm the mind, and master oneself is essential for peace and freedom. Now, let's go deeper. In this part, we'll explore how to practice stillness daily, how the Stoics trained their minds to remain calm even in the midst of chaos, and why stillness is more urgent now than ever before. The Stoic way of training stillness. The Stoics did not simply talk about stillness as an abstract idea. They trained for it. Marcus Aurelius, while leading wars and ruling the vast Roman Empire, would write to himself every night in meditations, reminding his mind to return to calm. He wrote, "People look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. There is nowhere that a person can find a more peaceful retreat than in his own soul." This was not poetry. It was practice. Every day, he reminded himself, "Stillness is here, inside me. No matter how loud the Senate, no matter how violent the battlefield, my soul can be quiet." One way to practice stillness, as the Stoics did, is through daily reflection. Seneca advised, each day we should call ourselves to account. He recommended reviewing the day before sleep, asking, what did I do well? What did I do poorly? What can I improve tomorrow? This is not just journaling. It is active stillness. You sit with your thoughts, your actions, and your mistakes. Not to punish yourself, but to grow. In that silence, clarity emerges. Today, the biggest enemy of stillness is distraction. Our world is filled with buzzing notifications, endless feeds, and constant noise. But ask yourself, is all that noise making you wiser? Or is it pulling you further from yourself? Epictetus gave us the perfect reminder. If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you would be angry. But you give away your mind to anyone who comes along, so that when they insult you, you become upset. Aren't you ashamed of that? When we allow distractions to control us, we surrender our minds to strangers, to algorithms, to noise. Stillness is reclaiming our attention. So how can we reclaim it? Practice controlled retreats. That means setting aside even 5 minutes a day to sit in silence, breathe, and let thoughts settle. No phone, no music, no talking. Just you and your mind. Start small. 5 minutes. Then grow to 10. Eventually, 30. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more necessary it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." The strength in stillness. Now here's the paradox. Stillness does not make you weak, it makes you unshakable. When you embrace stillness, you no longer react impulsively. You no longer get pulled into every argument, every distraction, every emotion. You respond with wisdom. Seneca put it powerfully. He who is everywhere is nowhere. By practicing stillness, you learn to be fully present. Whether it's with family, at work, or even in your own thoughts, you live deeply instead of superficially. Stoic example. Cato the Younger. Consider Cato the Younger, the Roman Stoic who resisted tyranny under Julius Caesar. Cato was known for his calm strength. Even when chaos surrounded him, he would withdraw into his mind, practicing silence. Plutarch writes that Cato would often stand still, completely absorbed in thought, unmoved by the noise around him. That discipline of stillness gave him the clarity to act with courage when others panicked. Ask yourself, how often do you pause before reacting? When someone insults you, do you rush to respond? When a problem appears, do you panic immediately? Or do you take a moment, just a breath, to remain still and see clearly? The Stoics remind us that pause, that stillness, is where wisdom lives. The pause technique. Here's something you can practice today: the pause technique. Whenever you feel triggered, whether by anger, stress, or fear, pause. Take 3 breaths. Step back mentally. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Will this matter tomorrow? Will this matter in a year? This moment of stillness prevents regret. It transforms reaction into response. Stillness in nature. Another way the Stoics practiced stillness was by observing nature. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the stars, the vastness of the universe, and the rhythm of life. He wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." Stillness is easier to practice when we remember how small our problems are in the grand scheme. Go outside. Look at the sky. Listen to the wind. Watch the flow of water. Nature teaches stillness effortlessly. Stillness as power in leadership. This wasn't just personal, it was practical. For the Stoics, stillness was a tool for leadership. Marcus Aurelius ruled millions of people. Without stillness, he could have been consumed by stress, anger, or pride. But his writings show us that he constantly returned to inner quiet. This is what made him both powerful and just. Today, leaders, whether of nations, businesses, or families, desperately need the same skill. If you cannot master stillness, you cannot lead wisely. The inner fortress. Marcus spoke often about creating an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that cannot be shaken by external chaos. This citadel is built brick by brick every time you practice stillness. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you reflect instead of rushing, every time you retreat inward instead of seeking escape, your inner fortress grows stronger. Now, here's my question for you. How will you build your inner citadel today? What practice of stillness can you begin, even if it's only 5 minutes? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them, and I want this to be more than just a video. I want it to be a conversation, a shared pursuit of wisdom. The eternal value of stillness. To the Stoics, embracing stillness was not about escaping life. It was about engaging life more deeply. It was about finding clarity in noise, peace in struggle, and strength in silence. In a world that is busier and noisier than ever, this wisdom is not ancient history. It is eternal truth. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." That stillness is already within you. All you need to do is practice. So take this with you. When the world is loud, be silent. When chaos rises, be still. When everything shakes, stand calm. For in stillness, you will discover not just peace, but power. If you found value in this journey through Stoicism, subscribe for more timeless wisdom that can reshape your mind and your life. Share this video with someone who needs stillness. And in the comments, tell me, what practice of stillness will you begin today? Together, let's revive the ancient art of stillness, and through it, master ourselves.